and refers to as those terrible Solomons.
The Pacific is a bunch of very hot little islands. Coral atolls, mountainous, rainforesty jungles. Human beings have difficulty living in these places under the best of circumstances, much less when someone is trying to kill you and you have to kill other people.
We see the jungle as a kind of hell on earth.
The jungle on Cape Gloucester, New Britain was almost impenetrable. It was simply a mud hole. It rained there 24 hours a day, day after day after day after day.
The constant wet, the mud, the floods. It was hideously difficult for all of them.
A lot of Marines said, all we wanted was just one day dry. Cape Gloucester was just a ferociously difficult place to fight, and it broke men down.
Somebody shoot me!
You were not only surviving all kinds of the elements, we were also fighting malaria and yellow fever.
The thing that wore the 1st Marine Division down was disease.
Our biggest health problem on Guadalcanal was malaria. It was vicious. There were boys that would just fall down and begin to shake and lose consciousness.
To ask guys to jump off a boat, carrying with them the stuff that's supposed to see them through until they get resupplied, well, that means you need to resupply them. And it didn't happen very fast.
We had nothing. Everything was gone or worn out or eaten.
I wore the same dungarees, underwear, socks for at least 2 months.
All we had was our weapons and ammunition.
Most of the Marine supplies didn't get ashore, and most particularly that included food.
We brought only so much food ashore, and it was the lousy sea ration that we all hated. Sea rations came in cans like dog food. You didn't try to taste it, you just ate it.
A lot of times you didn't have time to eat. I lost 40 pounds on New Britain.
We would have starved to death on Guadalcanal if they had not had a tremendous warehouse of Jap rice. A lot of it was infested with some sort of bug. We wouldn't even separate the rice from the bugs. We'd just eat it all.
We need water, Captain.
I'm working on it, Corporal.
When we landed on Peleliu, we all landed with 2 canteens of water.
It was about 115 to 120 degrees in the shade, and there wasn't much shade.
By noontime, very few had any water left in their canteens.
How could they send us up here without any water?
The second morning there, they brought us some water.
The water had been put into 55-gallon oil drums, but nobody had cleaned the oil drums out after they had emptied the contents, and they were filled up with water and sent to the front lines. The men got terribly sick from that, but you had to have that water.
We get a chance to see the conditions these young men were under, the horrors of being in an environment so foreign to anything they had ever understood.
It was an alien environment.
You do not try to fight against it, you just simply accept it. No one went around wailing about it because there was no point in it. Tomorrow it was going to be the same way, and the next day the same way, and the next day. You just lived with it.